Well, a report came out today that Brooke Koepka might not play on the LIV Golf Tour next season despite being signed through 2026.
This could be the beginning of the end for LIV Golf. Fred Couples, a very close friend of Brooks and a mentor, went on a Seattle radio station and said he wants to come back to the PGA Tour.
Brooks Koepka made $100 million to join LIV Golf in June 2022. Now, Sports Business Journal reports he's planning to sit out the entire 2026 season, walking away from nearly $20 million in guaranteed money. The five-time major champion hasn't won a single LIV event this year, missed the cut at 3 of 4 majors, and Fred Couples went on Seattle radio station KJR 93.3 saying he wants to come back. I will say that I believe he really wants to come back and play the tour. This story broke December 8, 2025, and LIV's CEO Scott O'Neil had to respond yesterday.
I've got a contract obligation out here to fulfill, and then we'll see what happens.
Koepka's contract with LIV runs through 2026, but multiple sources told Sports Business Journal he won't play next season. He's the captain of Smash GC, one of LIV's flagship teams. His absence would leave them scrambling for a replacement while their biggest American star sits at home. The team includes Jason Kokrak, Matt Wolff, and Graeme McDowell. Solid players, but nobody who moves the needle like Brooks. The money Koepka would forfeit is staggering. LIV players get appearance fees just for showing up. Koepka's is reportedly around $20 million per season. That's before any prize money. For context, Scottie Scheffler made $29 million in PGA Tour prize money this entire season as the world's best player. Koepka would be walking away from guaranteed money that exceeds what all but maybe 3 PGA Tour players make in a year.
Obviously money. I mean, money is just gigantic.
But here's the strategic part. Because Koepka won the 2023 PGA Championship at Oak Hill, he stays exempt for all 4 majors through 2028, regardless of which tour he plays. He can also play DP World Tour events if he maintains that membership. Some sources suggest he'd use this gap year to serve out a 12-month PGA Tour suspension, making him eligible to return in August 2026. The suspension rules are murky. Nobody really knows if it's 1 year or indefinite, because the PGA Tour hasn't been clear about their policy for players who want to return.
If I'm the PGA Tour, just go ahead and waive the 1-year suspension, give him his tour card, and let him play this year.
Scott O'Neil, LIV's CEO, who replaced Greg Norman in January 2025, gave a careful response to Josh Carpenter on December 9th. He said, "I know you're not going to want to hear this one, just the individual players. And this goes back to our policy. We're just going to run it through. So we haven't made any announcements on players, but he is signed for 2026. That's corporate speak for we can't admit our star player wants out." O'Neil's trying to project stability while LIV prepares for their 5th season with a new 14-event format starting in 2026. They're moving from 54 holes to 72 holes, trying to get official world golf ranking points, basically doing everything they can to look like a legitimate tour.
LIV Golf has just announced that for the 2026 season, they will be playing 72-hole events.
They need Koepka's star power for credibility. The timing of this leak matters. LIV just finished their 2025 season in September with their team championship. Koepka's Smash GC finished dead last in the regular season standings. He personally had his worst year since turning professional. 0 wins on LIV, missed cuts at the Masters, US Open, and Open Championship. His only made cut at a major was a T26 at the PGA Championship. For a guy who won 4 majors between 2017 and 2019, then added another in 2023, this drop-off is shocking. Martin Kamer, who joined LIV in 2022 like Koepka, gave an interview to Flushing It Golf 2 weeks ago that reveals the tension inside LIV.
I don't know where I'm going, so I don't know how everybody else does.
Gamers upset because players like Jon Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton got to play the 2025 Ryder Cup, while early defectors couldn't. Rahm and Hatton refused to pay their DP World Tour fines, reportedly 7 figures for Rahm alone, and filed appeals that let them keep playing. Kamer said, "Sometimes you feel like they have different rules for different people. I just find it very strange and I would like to understand it. This internal drama matters because it shows LIV isn't the united front they pretend to be." Koepka was one of their founding members, took massive heat for leaving the PGA Tour, and now watches newer guys like Rahm get better treatment. Rahm reportedly got between $300 and $500 million to join.
A $400 million contract.
When they slap you with a large amount of money in your face, your feelings do change.
3 to 5 times what Koepka got. Let's talk about what Koepka's actually walking away from. LIV events have $5 million purses, with the winner getting $4 million. Even finishing last place in a LIV event pays $50,000. There are 14 events planned for 2026, plus the team championship. If Koepka played his normal schedule and finished where he typically does, he'd make another $5 to $10 million on top of his $20 million appearance fee. So we're really talking about $25 to $30 million he's leaving on the table. The PGA Tour suspension situation is complicated. Hudson Swafford, who joined LIV in June 2022 alongside Koepka, told the Subpar podcast that his suspension runs until 2027. That's 5 years. But PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan has been vague about the actual policy. Some reports suggest it's a 1-year suspension from your last LIV event. Others say it's indefinite until the tours reach an agreement. If Koepka sits out all of 2026 and doesn't play any LIV events, theoretically his suspension could end by early 2027. He'd return to the PGA Tour at age 36, still in his prime for golf. Remember, Phil Mickelson won the PGA Championship at age 50. Koepka's game, built on power and athletic ability, could easily stay competitive into his early 40s. The merger talks between the PGA Tour and LIV's Saudi backers add another layer.
At the end of this season, the 3 entities will come together and decide what the future of the LIV Golf League will be.
Adam Scott, who's on the PGA Tour's transaction committee with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, told the Associated Press this week that negotiations are stuck. He said, "It's not worth talking about. Obviously, it's so complex, and when the DOJ is involved, I think we sit and just wait for them." The Department of Justice has been investigating potential antitrust issues since 2022. Scott O'Neil told Sports Business Journal on December 8th that he envisions a new world order where the PGA Tour dominates in America and LIV becomes the leading tour everywhere else. But that vision requires star players actually playing. If Koepka sits out, who's next? Bryson DeChambeau had a great 2024 winning the US Open, but he went winless on LIV in 2025. Cameron Smith hasn't won a major since the 2022 Open Championship. Patrick Reed's been irrelevant. Dustin Johnson's 40 years old. The newer signings aren't helping either. Laurie Cantor just earned his PGA Tour card through the DP World Tour, then immediately jumped back to LIV. Golf fans on social media destroyed him for taking a spot someone else could have used. One fan wrote, "PGA Tour should invoke 5-year stand-downs from the last LIV event. Now, make them pariahs for good." Tom McKibbin's signing might be worse optics. The 22-year-old Northern Irishman shares a home club with Rory McIlroy, who's been LIV's biggest critic. McKibbin had just earned his PGA Tour card and was exempt for the 2025 Open Championship at Royal Portrush, his home Open. Now he's joining Jon Rahm's team for reportedly $5 million plus bonuses. These moves make everyone look bad. The PGA Tour looks weak for letting players use them as leverage. LIV looks desperate signing guys nobody's heard of. The players look greedy, taking guarantees over competition. Let's be real about Koepka's career since joining LIV.
I've been happy. It's been very irritating. It's a lot.
In 2022, he won once in Bangkok. In 2023, he won the PGA Championship, but nothing on LIV. In 2024, he won in Singapore and some team events. In 2025, 0 wins. His world ranking dropped from 19th to outside the top 50. Compare that to 2017 to 2021 on the PGA Tour. 8 wins, including 4 majors, 47 weeks as world number 1. He was Tiger-level dominant at majors. Now he can't make cuts, and his teammates are guys most fans couldn't pick out of a lineup. The competition difference is real. LIV has 48 players, no cuts, guaranteed money. The PGA Tour has 156 player fields with cuts. You earn nothing if you miss. Koepka went from competing against the world's best 156 to playing 48 guys where maybe 20 are tour level. Fred Couples has no reason to lie. He's 65, made his money, has nothing to gain. When he says Koepka really wants to come back, that's from real conversations. Couples wouldn't burn that bridge without reason. The financial math tells us everything. If a player forfeits $20 to $30 million to not play, what does that say? LIV events get minimal viewership. Most stream on the CW app nobody watches. The team format hasn't caught on. The shotgun starts kill any tension buildup. Other LIV players are watching. If Koepka can sit out and potentially return, why can't they? Neiman's only 26 and already missing real competition. Gooch won 3 times in 2023, but nobody cared. These guys are making millions to play golf, nobody watches. The sponsors tell another story. PGA Tour has FedEx, AT&T, Genesis, Wells Fargo, Fortune 500 companies. LIV has nobody. They're funded entirely by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. When that money stops, the tour dies.
This guy, Jay Monahan, went on a whole thing about how evil LIV was, only to then secure the bag.
Scott O'Neil knows this. His comment about Koepka being signed for 2026 sounds desperate. He can't admit his star player wants out because that starts an exodus. Once Koepka leaves, who stays? The old guys collecting retirement checks like Mickelson? Young unknowns like Kieran, Vincent? Here's what happens next. Koepka stays quiet through the holidays. Come January, we'll get reports about him taking time for family or dealing with injuries. He won't show up for LIV's February opener. By summer 2026, he'll be practicing at PGA Tour events. By August, if the suspension's really 1 year, he's back. The ripple effects matter more than Koepka himself. Every PGA Tour player considering LIV will think twice. Every current LIV player will wonder if they should follow. Every potential sponsor sees their biggest American star walking away from guaranteed millions. The PGA Tour won't celebrate publicly, but they're winning. They kept Scheffler, McIlroy, Hovland, Morikawa, Spieth, Thomas, all the young stars who matter. LIV got mostly guys past their prime. Now they might lose the one American who could still win majors. Koepka turns 35 in May 2026, prime years for a golfer. Jack won 6 majors after 35. But stuck on LIV playing meaningless exhibitions, his legacy dies there. The irony? In 2020, Koepka said, "I want to play against the best." Then he took $100 million to play against Matt Wolff every week. Now he's apparently willing to pay $20 million to get back to real competition. When a guy is willing to leave $20 to $30 million on the table, that tells you everything about where professional golf stands. The split isn't healing. It's getting worse, and even LIV's biggest stars are looking for exits.